this is the like controversial like and I've seen I've seen a partial of this clip before, but I haven't seen the whole thing. But it's essentially like um I guess it's kind of like who really benefits from the society that we live in, men or women. And then they kind of talk about it in depth.
Um,
So
I mean, well, you answer the question. Who do you think benefits from the world?
who I think benefits,
Yeah, who benefits more?
um, who benefits more?
Mm-hmm.
I would think female benefit more from today's society. Now again, I don't know every aspect of it, but I would think females benefit more from today's society because essentially everything.
Is it females in general, or is it like, or is it black women that you're talking
I
about?
mean, once you get into the categories of like black women, white women, Asian, then it kind of goes
It goes
down.
different.
Yeah,
I mean, me
but as
personally,
a general, I
it's
think women.
I can't really answer the question because there's certain topics where I feel like men benefit more than women, and then there's those other topics where women benefit more. So I feel like it's you win some and you lose some.
I can understand that. I will say this:
So I can't
I
really
do
say.
believe that men run the society. I would say no. I won't even say run. I would say that men operate the society,
Yeah, but you
but
definitely got
women, I think women
some
run
behind the
the
scenes
society.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
there's definitely some women who are behind the scenes when a
No,
lot of
no, that's not
people.
what I mean. That's not what I mean.
What you mean
I
then?
mean, as far as like how society is ran, you know, who sits in certain seats of power and stuff like that. Visual, who's the face of society and things like that. I would, operation wise, the way it's ran, men run or operate society, but who's actually in control of society is women. And why I say that is because even though, sure, men are it's mostly men who own and run the biggest businesses. It's mostly men who own and run different types of corporation. It's mostly men that are in high seats of power. But even though it's mostly men, women are still in the top role when it comes to what is happening in society. For example, everything that is being sold, everything that's being made, everything that's being marketed is women based. Even when it's something for men, it's when it's something for men, it's a woman that's in that seat that's marketing it to bring more men. When you go to the club, women are getting in free. Why? Because more women in the club, more men going to be in the club. You're going to charge the man. Even though men go to war, sure, more men go to war. Fine, that's cool. But at the end of the day, the more men that go to war, the more opportunities it opens for women to do whatever the hell they want while they're at home. So even though a lot of the that's why I said operation. Even though a lot of the working pieces that need to be done are done by men, I still believe that women are the ones running the society. Even beauty standards are ran by women. Women are what pick beauty standards. If women don't like it or women don't think that men will be pulled to it, they're not going to do it. Sure, men like big booty women, but there wouldn't be big booty women if women didn't want to have big booties to get more men,
Some women are just naturally born with big booties. So
which
I
is
think
fine.
there's just those group of women who aren't blessed with, the boobs or the ass, and then they're like, well, I want this, and I'm gonna go to someone who can give me this, whether it's here in America or here in another country, and it does not. I mean, we watch it on Watched all the time. Like there are people who go pretty far, like no matter what,
Yeah,
to look
sure.
a certain way, um, because of society. But more so, I wasn't thinking of it as, and I understand what you're saying, but I was more so saying like there's like a lot of jobs where like women kind of are looked down on because it's like, oh yeah, no, like you're not supposed to do this. You can't
I
do
mean,
this.
I guess, but then at the same time that women are looked down upon at these certain places,
I mean, there's
women
certain
have
careers
more.
like,
Women have more a more widespread of lanes that they can go work in. Because sure, okay, most of the doctors are what? Most of the nurses are what? Most of the
and that's what I'm
teachers are what?
saying. And those professions, yes, those are women dominated professions, but there's also those professions where they are male dominated, like automotive, like diesel, like engineering and stuff like
Which is
that,
which
where they're male
okay,
dominated, and then they try to go out and get these jobs, and then they're looked at as if it's like, oh well, you can't be a welder because you're a girl, and why would you want to do this, and why would you want to get your hands dirty and all rough, like you're a woman, shouldn't you just be being somebody's nurse or being somebody's dental assistant or dentist or whatever, and like doing all that. So I definitely do understand where it's flip floppy, but also like just
I get that, yes. But still at the same time, even though men have their male dominated thing, majority of the things that male dominated jobs are more are not necessarily fitted to be comfortable jobs. And what I mean by that, even though women are mostly nurses, women are mostly um
I mean,
doctors,
I've been
women
in
are
the dental field, so I know firsthand that that is a female dominated area.
cool.
But there's also more male dentists, but as being a dental assistant, that's a female dominated
Okay.
position.
Um but even with that, even with okay, here's how I'll break it down. Majority of the things that men dominate in, men dominate in a field where it's either it's labor or it is geared towards um you have to leave the home to do something. Like you necessarily have to, and by leave the home I mean you either work on the street, you work outside, you go out. Even though there are some jobs that women still have to leave the home to do, women have a more open space where they can do what they want in the comfort of their home. So how can I say this? A lot of the big things that are market and make the most money is geared towards women. Like homes are geared towards women. Why? Because women are the ones that always want to be like, oh, this is what I want in my house. This is what I want in my house. This is how I want my house to look. The cars are mostly geared towards women. When you go to when you
No,
for
because
example, if me and
even
you go
now,
to a car
I sit here and
dealership,
I ask you about stuff, and you be like, "Oh yeah, no, I don't care how that looks," or "It's just this. It doesn't matter." So it's just like, why, you know, why,
why what?
why am I? Why wouldn't it be geared towards at least pleasing a woman or catching a woman's attention, like a house or like a car? Because
Because
to a man, to most men, oh yeah, it's just a car.
no, I don't. I wouldn't say that. I would say that the reason why men do that is because at the end of the day, men in the longevity of things don't want to constantly hear, don't want to constantly have arguments about something that they like. Men are more comfortable. with sacrificing the things that they want when it comes to things that they like, especially when it comes to homes, cars, things like that, than having to do the things that they like and constantly have things like.
But I also feel like the same way that you're saying that men sacrifice those things, women sacrifice those things too. Um, and some women are put into a role where we can't really be that feminine because, as you say, there's a problem. Well, I wouldn't say you, but as some men say, there's a problem with women being too masculine or too. I don't need you to take care of me because I can do it by myself. We're put into those situations where we have to be like, oh, I don't need your money. I don't need you to take care of me. I don't need this. Because it's like, why would I ask you? Like, I can bring the shit, same thing to the table. Same thing to the table.
That's a conversation that I'd rather not go into. Let's just go and react to this.
Okay, react to the video.
I remember one girl, she goes, I like fine dining and I like...
What's wrong with that?
Excuse me, I will tell you why. I was like, I like fine dining. What do? You work part-time in Tesco. Shut the fuck up. Like,
Can I speak?
no,
Real
when I'm
talk,
done,
bro.
when
Let
I'm
him
done,
go, let
when
him
I'm
go, let
done,
him go,
because
let him loose.
like, oh, what car do you drive? What car do you drive?
You could have
No,
been
no,
let
me.
me go
this
bring him
is the
down.
problem. Yeah,
Could've
the problem
been-
is
He's pretty much sleeping. My back is really hurting. And I'm cold. Come on.
Oh man, I'm goofy, bro. I'm super goofy. So I guess I can't. It's just not. I mean, hey, bro. It seems like I gotta stick with the 720. But I mean, 720 is not bad, but I just want it to be a higher quality of. You feel me? But I mean, it is what it is. You're gonna rock out how we can. You feel me? Yo, I got, man, I'm so mad. I got fucking blocked on fucking Twitch, bro. Um, I got fucking not Twitch. I got blocked on
Do you want anything?
no.
Oh, I'm gonna need you to like massage my back for me because it's just like where they gave me that epidural pack. It just hurts. Oh no. I don't even know like how able to really explain it for you to understand. Let me get a little closer to you because you don't feel like being close. Can I kiss? I'm making waffles.
Okay.
You know, they're nice and warm. I thought they would warm me up a little bit. I don't know. It just means.
This gonna be a girl's trip.
Oh,
Waffles done.
listen to me. Most people hate when I say this, and I said this at a coaching class with a bunch of men, and they was hot with me, man. They went off on me. I said, when you have to control, not only are you insecure, you are not truly being yourself. If I gotta be all aggressive and raw for you to do what I need you to do, then I'm not able to be like, babe, why don't you just love me? Why can't you just be there for me?
How
I'm
many
not
times are
allowing
you
myself
supposed
to
to
be
feed a
vulnerable,
cat a day?
right? And
You want to look it
I
up?
feel you keep saying that.
Sure,
I do. I
like
say it a lot.
I'm
I don't
being
think
like
guys are
so
getting it.
serious because like
And I do. And I
he
do
acts
counseling.
like
I
he
have to
needs
be
to
honest.
eat
We just did
all
a session
day
yesterday, and
long.
the first thing to do was like, man, you know,
Like if you see a little small
I'm
piece
I'm
of
I'm I'm,
the
t- I'm
bottom
tired
of
of you
the
trying
bowl,
to
it's
make
like
me
he
so
needs to.
big. And this is what he said. Your big ass up here looking like some damn teddy bear. You
Okay,
always talk
let's
about loving
do.
the bare minimum.
Thank you for that time. I hope you can't hear me like, sir. I asked you if you wanted something to say.
I thought you said if I wanted something from the kitchen, like a drink. Okay.
Look, Lani, you get
You
money.
can have some.
Regardless of what these people might think, you get money. You do your thing. You've been in a position.
I don't want to be cheated on.
Okay, you get money, but my point is, yeah, you are in a position. So let me just break it down real, yeah. Your online persona, you've got the ZZ Mill syndrome. Your online persona precedes you, and some people will now think lesser of you because of the way you speak online and stuff. But what they don't understand is that you lot are actually hustlers. That you lot get your money, you lot do your thing. That in itself allows you to. Your asking price, what you actually want. You can.
I was gonna say that.
You can actually match to a degree if you take away your online persona as a woman and what you do for yourself. You can actually make certain demands and someone can't really question it. There's a lot of girls who all they do is make the demands. Let's just simplify it. A lot of people have CV from McDonald's, but they're applying.
A man's currency is his money and his finances.
Currency is money, full stop.
Okay, but a man's currency in the dating pool is his money, his height, things of that nature. Do you understand?
Your
A
height,
woman's
something that
currency.
is useless.
This is not. I didn't make the rules, so I
Yeah.
don't want anyone to shoot me. This is just facts. A woman's currency, not in every situation, but can be her
Generally
looks.
speaking, yeah.
If a woman is leng, she can work in Tesco's. We know this. So why?
Pretty privilege.
So she can exactly. So she can go on fucking Hinge and say, I want A, B, C, D, E, and F.
Yeah, you
The
can.
reason I work is a choice, by the way. I don't have to because I could go marry some uncle and get looked after. However, in my past experience when I was younger, I used to only date. It was a very bad phase. Don't do what
Please,
I did.
go on.
I used to date footballers. I used to date rappers.
Which
oh
one?
my
What
God.
league? What league? What division were they?
Premier League. I've even Let me not give you.
No, name drop. Let's go, baby.
Name drop Lani.
Let's give that other guy a rest, man. Let's move on to the footballers now. Go on.
I just can't. I can't. I can't.
Let my nigga rest. All
I
right.
don't understand the premise of like I date these men, but I never stay with them. Like if that's the top tier man, why did you not just stay with that nigga? I'm so confused. When
Well, she sounds like she regrets.
What's your answer to that question?
If this is the top tier, why didn't I stay with him?
Yes, for women that like to always promote and advertise that they've been with business owners, rich men, high status men, why did you not stay with that man?
I don't have an answer for that. I don't have an answer for that because I feel like a lot of what women view the dating pool as and what I personally view the dating pool as is two completely different things.
Okay.
I'm not looking for a man who has, you know, the big house and the nice cars and a wonderful bank account. Also, I'm not looking for a man who has it all, because if you have it all and I'm still trying to get to that point, then in my eyes it's like, if we get married, you're just like, I didn't work for that. Like, it's not my house, it's not my car. It's kind of just like, oh yeah, you have all the money, you have the house, you have the car, you have all of this. So at that point, like, you'll be taking care of me, not we as a team worked for this.
Okay, so then
Also, I feel like when you're dating, the same things that you're asking for, you should be able to give.
okay.
If you're asking for him to make a certain amount, you need to be able to match that. If you want him to pay all the bills, then you need to be able to do the other half, whatever that is. Cooking, cleaning, taking care of inside the house. Kind of like what we do. You pay all the bills and I'll take care of the house and the kids.
Okay, so then because you mentioned that essentially that women who are asking for these certain things are essentially just are in a position where they're just completely being taken care of, right? So
Yeah, because at that point, that's like, you're just my sugar daddy. In my eyes. Like, I think some women literally date because they want, their pure intentions is finding a man, no matter how he looks, what his age is, whatever. They're looking for a man who can take care of them financially. Very comfortably. If they want to go buy a Birkin, they can buy a Birkin, and it won't hurt the bank account. If they want to go on a yacht, they can go do that. If they want to go on these expensive trips, they can go do that, and it won't hurt his pockets.
okay. So then would you say that women essentially, at least nowadays, some women,
I'm very old school. So
would you say some women are essentially just looking for a father, or like you said, a sugar daddy instead of an actual husband or a partner?
Yes. I feel like, as you said, a father. So there's two different sides to daddy issues. You have those dads who are, down hard. They've been there from point A to point Z. They've,
Spoiled.
complete princess.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever she wants, she got it. If she wants a pony, she's getting a pony. Like, very spoiled.
Okay.
Then you have, and when, as a dad, when you do that to your child, you're not necessarily teaching them that when they then go on and they start dating, like they're expecting that person that they're dating to give them everything that they want. Like the word no is unacceptable to them. So then you have those type of daddy issues where, well, my daddy gave me everything, so why can't you go give me everything? You know what I'm saying? So you have those daddy issues. But then on the flip side, you have those daddy issues where dad wasn't around and mom was the only person that was around and mom took care of everything. So now it's kind of like, as a woman, I'm going to try and do everything by myself. But at the same time, because I lacked in my childhood, not having a dad around, I kind of want that. You kind of date for that to fill in that void that you had from not having a dad growing up, or a father figure growing up, I should say, not a dad. But that's just my opinion.
No, listen, there's certain niggas that you meet, they've got bare girl. You know they've got bare girl. They've got a wife at home. Listen.
New track by Lonnie, Big Money Boys.
You guys are getting it twisted.
Is that a plant on his head, or like this? Like, is that like a hat, or is that just a plant?
It's a plant in the back.
You'll be approached by a man who's got, he's got a wife and kids, or he's got.
Her boobs are like really out there.
I
Are
think
they
she got
real or
body.
they
No,
fake?
I think she
Okay.
got her
Don't
body.
make it seem like girls want to use good guys.
Yeah, they do, but hold on. Yes, they do.
I mean, I don't
Yes, they
know
do.
if that was just like a good bra or
I should not see how stupid.
because her boobies don't look like they sagging at all. Like when your boobs are that big, they have to sag a little bit. Like they just look.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she got her body done.
Okay.
I think because they have like, okay, so this is a YouTube channel, and within that YouTube channel is like they kind of run it like a business where, or a network where this YouTube channel makes different types of different shows, but they all go onto this YouTube channel. This is just one section. There another section that they have is that we'll react to, because actually I think we're gonna add them onto the list of a lot of things that we react to because of the topics that they talk about. But one of them is called a back chat, and it's all English, black. It's all black, like people from the UK, like across the world type shit. And I think in one of them she mentioned that.
Yeah, you know you like the UK accent.
Yeah. You lie. Let me lie to you. Yeah, it just be funny.
Yeah, her logic sounds so dumb. If you can identify them so much so where you don't make the mistake by using the wrong man, how about you just don't deal with them?
Yeah, it's not that hard, but she wants to get something out of me.
Exactly. That's
in
the
her head,
reality.
She justifies it by saying like you're a bad person, so like if I finesse you for this much, then it's not that big of a deal.
What I don't understand.
I understand what they're saying when they said that, but I don't think that's necessarily true, because I don't think it's very much possible to find someone who you find a bad person and be able to manipulate or use that person for benefit, especially for financial gain. I don't think you can find a bad person who is, because that doesn't make sense. How are you going to be able to find someone who's a bad person but a nice enough person for you to suck money out of them, if that makes sense? So I understand what they're saying,
Because
but it doesn't
then
make
at
sense.
that point, it's like a transaction to and I guess that's what they're trying to say. But in my mind, hearing it the way how I guess they're taking it is, it's like a transaction. It's literally like, like for example, arranged marriages. To me, that's just like a transaction.
Essentially, it is.
So with women, they go after people or men who have the money, because to them it's like, okay, he got money, he can take care of me, and these are the things that I want. And the main thing that I hear a lot of women say who want to date these men who have money is, I want a Birkin. I want a Birkin bag. Birkin. So he got money. He's gonna give me this, but in return, and this is why I say it's very sugar daddy ish, because it's like ain't no way that man ain't gonna want something back.
I mean, I would think
A man is gonna ask for something. There's not gonna be a man on the planet Earth that is going to say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna spend all my money on you and not want something in return." I just don't. I really don't. Whether I'm not saying that you gotta give
I
him
think
some honey, but I'm saying or that you gotta give him some of your cookies. But it could be
you're
your
going to have
time.
to.
It could be cookies. It could be anything. So
I hear you, but
we definitely are critical on really both parties of like inviting toxic behavior in relationships to an unwilling party, and now you're just perpetuating this ongoing battle that good people are trying to have in the dating market. So trust me when I say I understand where she's coming from, but participating in it makes you no better than the person who's initiating it, especially since you are going out of your way to find those men. That makes no sense.
Bro, she thinks she's spitting facts.
Yeah,
too.
and she thinks she got everything.
Not every man needs to be used, just some of them.
Just some of them. It's
Imagine,
a lot of them
imagine
though.
just reverse
but it
it.
also
Not
makes it harder
every-
on the women who actually do want to date for love. For the women who don't care if you you living in the projects or if you living in Beverly Hills, it makes it very hard for those women who do not care, who want to grow with you, who want to build with you, and not the type of women who want to use you. Because if you're constantly being used by a woman and then you like, oh yeah, I'm gonna date again, but in the back of your mind you're still holding on to that emotional baggage of being used over and over and over again. So in your mind, all women is the same. Like you already just it's just a matter of time of when she's going to use you. But when you find that good woman, if she really don't care, it's always gonna be in the back of your mind. It's always gonna be in the back of your mind. It's a trust thing, in my opinion.
let's continue because I
Every
don't
woman needs to
have
be
that
used and
response. To that.
abused. Just a few of them.
Just a few of them.
You know the sluts, man.
And
You know
so-
the ones I'm talking
And
about.
what's crazy is the men that you're complaining about, that's their same fucking ideology.
Yeah, okay,
I'm not
they're
talking
cool.
about them type of
Lonnie,
guys.
we're using our hot desk volume
Do
today,
you think
okay?
that?
Now listen to this. Can I just say one thing? I actually agree with you. There's something that you said. Actually, I disagree with you because you was like back in the day. I think from the beginning of time, women have always gone for whatever.
What makes their life
I think
comfortable?
ideally women have always wanted the
Women
top.
look for comfort.
Everybody wants the top spec in life for the most part. So women have always looked for the best they can get. So at a time when women weren't working, ideally you'd want the richest man. What's that show, Bridgerton? That's a reflection of what some societies were like.
Yeah, also, just to let you know, historically, women were not marrying for love.
Yeah,
They were
you're right.
mating for status,
Exactly.
fortune. It was like a political decision to
But
get married.
it wasn't
made for love. I don't
always
know why
their
she said
decision to
But also,
be married to a certain person. A lot of I would say back then a lot of it was arranged. There were a lot of women who were not happy with the man that they were married to, but it was expected for them to be with that person. It was expected for them to have kids with that person. It was expected for them to, as a woman, to carry themselves a certain way.
Yes, what you're saying is true, but I think from the standpoint that they're trying to talk about, even not even counting arranged marriages, even women willingly picking men, they would go ahead and try to choose the best man that they
For political status, I can see that, yeah.
no, just for regular people too.
Well, I mean,
Regular people.
Well, you have Cinderella, so
You have Cinderella. What the hell is Cinderella?
in the movie Cinderella, you have Cinderella.
That is a
And then
movie.
you have the
That is a
stepsisters
movie.
who were just trying to go after the prince because he was the prince.
Okay, if you want to use the story of Cinderella, yes, and that's a perfect example. Majority of the women in the movie Cinderella was going after the prince because
I mean, there's so many different versions of Cinderella, but yes,
it,
and it all of them they have the same.
I'm not talking about this fucking transgender
No,
neutral
no, 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 no.
bullshit.
I didn't watch that one, but I'm just saying like there's so many different
Okay, but the
takes on it.
typical
But
story
yes.
of Cinderella is that every woman that went to that party was essentially trying or had a plan or quote
To
unquote what
impress,
to
to
try to get the prince
yes.
because of the fact that he is the prince. And what comes with the prince is being taken care of,
You'll be a
status.
princess.
You'll
Who
be a
don't
prince.
want to be a princess?
The whole package of what initially women want the automatically come with him because of the fact he is a prince. Cinderella is just an example of a woman who just happened to just casually fall in love with this gentleman. She wasn't searching for this gentleman. She wasn't
But he
trying to,
also fell in love with her too
which is
because
fine.
she wasn't a
But
princess.
he
She was
fell in
the
love with
woman
her
who.
because he he saw and felt that it was genuine. He didn't. She wasn't trying to get nothing out of him.
Yeah, then he started chasing her because he was looking for the one woman that fit that glass slipper nice and
Okay,
perfect.
but that doesn't change the fact that majority of
Yeah,
women are
I mean,
chasing
yeah,
that man. Now,
I disagree with you. He's like, knocking.
no, but what I'm going to here's another part. Whether or not Cinderella was trying to chase the prince, do you honestly think if it wasn't the prince that Cinderella would still have gotten with the dude? Say it wasn't the prince. Say it was, the prince's servant. Do you really think Cinderella would have happily taken that shoe and be like, "Yeah, I'm happy to marry you," if she knew that the person she was about to marry wasn't the prince and was a prince's servant? Or
Well,
the
in the
butler
beginning,
or the janitor
when
or whatever.
she, if I remember correctly, because it's been so many different versions, and it's been so long that I just haven't really watched it. But I think she came in after he was like introduced as the prince. So at that point, I don't think she really found out that he was the prince until he came walking around saying like, "Oh, hey, whose shoe is this?" And he was having every woman try on the shoe. So I think in the beginning, like when they had the connection, she was like, "Oh no, like, he's just this masked man that I had this deep connection with."
We'll get into the
And she
actual
had
story,
her own
but
situation,
I don't
but
I don't think that's true because I do not believe Cinderella would have married the dude if the dude coming to check her shoe size and coming to propose was the butler. She may have. I don't know. It's a made up story. But
But is it
yeah.
really? I mean, Pocahontas ain't.
Who is
Pocahontas ain't.
Pocahontas?
Pocahontas, she's like a Native American girl. But anyway, so
How do we know
is
that's true though?
Pocahontas is real. She was a 12-year-old girl who was like kidnapped or something like that, and then they killed her, and then so forth on. I don't really know the story off of the top of my mind, but Pocahontas is real. Now, is the 12-year-old girl named Pocahontas? No, but
Okay.
Pocahontas is somewhat based on a true story.
When women make that argument, they make it seem as if like not only do women not have ulterior motives, but like men were just the worst of worst. Like everybody was just getting
Got beat
bopped.
every night, man.
Everybody's getting bopped. Every man was just running around having multiple families, and every like that's not what was going on. Like literally, every man was going out there just having sex with as many women that he can. Like this ideology that men just go out
No.
and they just have sex with
I mean,
every woman they
they're
come
pretty much
Dumb
they're
part is,
pretty
though,
similar,
is you could
but
just
I
say
don't
the
think so.
obvious facts. Like you guys didn't have basic rights like voting and shit. Why
Yeah.
don't you just stick to the facts? Why do you have to make up stories?
Yeah.
Like this shit is so weird to me. There's
Hold on, what?
actual
So basically, what they're saying is that they they are tired of the narration that back in the day all men were beating on their wives and all men were just cheating on their wives. When
No, there was
when
definitely
when
some
data
good,
shows
men out there.
when data shows that the majority of men weren't doing that, but um there, for whatever reason, the stigma is that back then men were beating on their wives, men were cheating, men were doing all these things terrible to women, and that's the stigma that is continuously being pushed and is kept, especially around the time, around those days. Even though, um, statistic wise, it doesn't show that, and that's what they're essentially talking about right now. Like he's okay with you talking about, like, yeah, we didn't have our rights, we couldn't vote, we couldn't own things, we
Yeah,
couldn't go
but
work.
there's a lot of women who be like, oh yeah, niggas ain't shit, but like, is niggas ain't shit because you keep being dog and you keep choosing the wrong dude, or you keep ignoring the red flags, or it's niggas ain't shit because whatever the reason is, I don't know.
Yeah.
Reasons why you wouldn't want to go back 200 years if you're a woman.
Exactly. but not these made up things that y'all just got told by these few people who are just sitting there in bad relationships.
Miscellaneous.
Again, of course there were bad relationships, but there's several other relationships that stood the test of time and they stayed together.
Women will basically be shocked. You're groomed. You know how men always talk about their Project Mbappe and Project Pogba, like trying to make their kids the best footballer from early. If people try to make their girls the best ladies from early in different societies and different cultures, and you want
But they desired marriage.
No, but they desired marrying rich and marrying powerful. No, you're right. Maybe, actually, you're wrong. Actually, sorry, because that's what we call arranged marriage. They don't even care about whether you love this boy or not.
No, they used to write poetry.
No, you're.
Oh my God! What are you talking?
It's a fantasy. Listen. Yo, listen.
It's not fantasy.
Wait, Lani, do not derail me, terrorist.
I don't
Look at
agree
me
with
over
you.
here,
I don't
and my
agree
six
with
over here
you.
dealing with Lani. We will not be. I do not negotiate with terrorists. My point is this, yeah.
Love was a big thing.
Listen, okay, but do you agree with me that arranged
Bro,
marriage?
what is
Objectively, no, it wasn't. It depends how far back we're going.
But what is she? When she said this, and they wrote poetry. What the fuck is that? What does that mean?
I think every woman wanted love, but there were a lot of families who, yeah, I do see where he's saying that from a young age. Even now, there's little girls who are born into the world, and from a very young age they are groomed to be a certain way, or to be pleasing to the best, not the boy who looks dirty or ugly, or a certain way. They're groomed to go after the guy who looks the best, who has the best, who is the flashiest. I mean, we just had this conversation earlier. Like, most rich people don't dress flashy. They dress like.
I mean, that's nowadays, but if we're talking about back in time,
it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
No, rich people back in time.
No, I'm saying that he said that
women were groomed. Yes, and that's what I'm saying. Like, yes, back then, but even still to this day, there are girls that I grew up with where I can see, like, there were certain things that was going on where I was just like, what? And okay, when you say groomed, are they being groomed to be wives, or are they like, in what fact? Because you can be groomed in many different ways. Like, for the example that he gave is, like, you can be groomed into trying to be the best football player. You can be groomed into, like, boys are still groomed at the same level. Like, children are groomed regardless. Whatever aspect you want to talk about, they're groomed in some form or fashion. But what he's necessarily saying, but back then, women, because of the fact that women couldn't do certain things and weren't allowed to do certain things, all women were groomed into the aspect of, this is how you become a proper housewife, regardless if you were rich or not. So what?
I mean, now is that what they're being groomed for now? I mean, some
No,
women,
I don't think so.
some. I mean, those old school. I mean, when I have a daughter, yes, I would like for her to carry herself in a way where she knows her worth, but also that when it comes time for her to settle down, that she can be a good wife too. I don't want her to be like, oh yeah, buy me, you gotta buy me all of this, and you gotta. I don't want her to be like, oh yeah, you gotta pay for every dinner we go out to, because I'm not that type of person. Like, if we're going to the movies and you buy the tickets, I'm buying the snacks. I don't want you to buy the tickets, pay for dinner, get the snacks, and all. No, a man shouldn't. In my eyes, a man shouldn't have to do all that.
I don't know. I think
It should
because
be a 50-50 role.
I get that, and I agree with that, but I don't
But
think
not all
when
women
I think
are,
when men say 50-50, majority of the time they're not speaking only in finances. And I think when women hear 50-50, the automatic thing they go to is finances. But
no.
when
I
men
mean,
say that, that's not what we're thinking of.
but
You
and that's why I
typically
say that when you, as a woman, when you're asking for something, for him to be there for you emotionally, financially, spiritually, whatever, when you're asking for these things, you need to be able to give that, because there's going to be times where I'm at a high but you're at a low, and I need to be just like how I fall on you, and I need you to be my rock. Sometimes I need to be able, if I'm asking for you to be my rock, I need to be able to give you that same support and be your rock when you need me to be. That's what I'm saying as 50-50.
okay.
It's
That's
across
a
the
part of
whole
okay,
board.
okay,
It's across the board.
okay.
Very old school.
But
But not women
typically,
are
no,
raised
women
like
are
that no
not saying
more.
that. No, typically when you bring up 50-50, women are not. They're not thinking about emotional support. They're not thinking about.
Of course not.
No,
Of
they're
course
just
not.
thinking about finances, which is why immediately when men say, "Oh, I want us to run 50-50," women again
I
nowadays,
mean, there's a
women just
lot of men
trash it down
who are afraid to, in my opinion, there's a lot of men who are afraid to express how they really feel, or are afraid to actually let their guard down. And I find it weird that men don't cry
because
in front of women.
women can't handle that. Women are not raised or quote unquote brought down the path of knowing how to handle that. And there was a thing that someone says that it says men are always taught how to treat women and to never expect something from a woman. But typically women are always taught how to expect something from a man.
That has to stop. That has to stop.
But is it ever going to?
I can tell you,
Is it ever
it,
going
it
to?
will in this household.
Okay, that's that.
It gotta start somewhere, baby. It gotta
I
start
guess,
somewhere. You
but
have to break these
but
generational curses.
but this is not just a generational curse. This is just a curse when it comes down to gender roles.
You gotta break it somewhere. Somewhere.
But again, but
It starts somewhere.
okay.
If you want to change, you gotta start somewhere.
Okay.
You gotta start with these damn pandemic babies.
All right.
I guess you said they wrote poetry. It was poets back then.
I'm mad that you can't see me in this video.
Once I get a webcam, I'll set it up so that way we're both in it. It'll probably have to sit somewhere up here and
Yeah, well, I think we should move you out of this corner by then,
what? Why?
cause I feel like if you want more space,
No, I'm fine with the corner. Oh shit. I had no problem with the corner.
What is she? When she said this, they wrote poetry. What the fuck is that? What does that mean?
Who she say wrote? She said women wrote poetry.
I guess you said they wrote poetry. It was poets back then.
Hello.
They really loved each other.
But what? The most popular poets
We're men.
all of them were. All of them.
What are you talking about? women, they really fell in love
Sat
with
at
these men.
home.
She
And
think
they
it's
really
Romeo and
just gave their
Juliet.
all to these men, and all men do
But
is just
again,
come home and hits the
yes,
bottom.
which
Hey,
is true.
Shakespeare.
But that's not what that's not what the average people were doing. That's what Romeo and
no,
Juliet was a story made by a rich white nigga.
and they looked at him like he was a weirdo. It's like looking at the kids
Absolutely,
nowadays
that nigga wasn't
who
getting
run in
pussy.
the hallway with his
That nigga was
their
not getting
arms
pussy.
up.
That Shakespeare wasn't getting pussy. Romeo and Juliet is a story that he made because he wasn't getting pussy.
I mean, in the end, Romeo and Juliet killed themselves. So
He wasn't getting pussy. And by the time he was getting pussy, he was known as William Shakespeare. Not like
he was very popular
yes,
by the time, and
he
and
was
it
getting, but he wasn't.
He was popular that he
Was getting pussy, but
before
yeah, no, he wasn't getting pussy.
Women had no
he
other
was the
choice
simp.
but to stay with these men because they couldn't work, and now we have the rights. It's like, no, that is not what happened. That's not what happened. That is not what happened. Women were not marrying men because they just, I really love who he is. No, that's not what happened. Please stop.
We don't live in a world where a man can pay for a mortgage by himself in London.
It's
anymore.
difficult.
Generally
100%.
speaking, we don't live in that world where a man,
Definitely.
like, like truly where the man is the breadwinner. Yes, we can live in a world where a man comes home with like 2 bags or something a month and he can provide for the child, but he will just get by. You will not live the life you want. So in a world where we live, where
she's not even listening to this nigga.
No, she's in her own like.
She's like, nope, nigga, nope. They don't exist. Nope, no. Also, I hate these conversations where they are clearly just talking about a specific type of man. Like, they're just talking about very wealthy men. And I know he's trying to, like, skew her away from that. But this whole conversation has been skewed to very wealthy. Even when he was saying back in the day, the type of men who were, like, getting married and they were arranging it to build something of power, majority of those are still very wealthy, influential men who come from very wealthy and influential families. That's not majority of that's just not majority of it, bro.
It's been on the tip of my tongue, man.
What's that?
He looks like Patrick Beverly. I've been trying to figure it out, man, this whole time. He looks just like Patrick Beverly.
I don't know.
Yep.
People making income.
People don't want to build anymore together. People
They
just
do want to build,
They,
but
no, I'm saying, but some people, the expectations of certain people, it's like they want the things already they're built there. Like,
there's another version of Bachelor
And
out
that's
there
what I just
somewhere
was
where
telling you. Some women date because they're expecting, like, if a man already has all that, they don't need to work hard to get it because it's already there. Like, oh yeah, you got a nice house, you got a big house, you know. My dream is to have a big house, and you got a big house. So hey, I don't have to work for my dream because
Okay, but if
all I gotta do is marry you, and my dream came true.
Okay, but if that is a thing that they're trying to do. Okay, here's the thing when it comes down to men. For men, especially for men who are in that aspect and can do those things, and women who are just trying to be there at the finish line, the thing that men are saying is that, okay, if you want to come along because I now have this trophy, you are going to have to accept the fact that there's going to be millions of other women who want to come along because I have this trophy. You can't sit here and say, "Oh, I'm with this dude, or I got all the and you know these are transactional things, and I get this house and da da da," and expect that man is only going to see you. No, that's not possible. If this man has and so I don't know who said this, but somebody said this, that women never like men that other women don't like.
Hold on, repeat that.
Women never like men that other women don't like.
Mm.
Women never like a man that other women don't like, because if a woman sees another woman with that man,
Of course not, because
obviously that man has some form of important qualities to keep that woman. So that's the nutshell of it. So then now if you're saying that just for a normal guy who may have his shit together, a normal guy who has his shit together and has his priorities straight, whether or not if he's at the finish line or not, if typically the women can tell the potential and the progress of a man by the way he talks, the way he carries himself, and the way he explains where he's going. If a woman sees that and understand the potential that he has and the progress that he's going to put himself in, or the place that he's going to put himself in, she's going to hop along for that ride. Average women. Other women don't want to hop on for the ride. Other women just want to wait at the finish line. But regardless of the fact, whether you're a female that hopped on for the ride or whether you're a female that is at the finish line, once he gets there, for the women that's hopping on for the ride, the more that he continues to grow in his path, the more women that I guess you can say you will be competing with. Once he gets to the finish line, that's the worst place for you to sit. Cause why would the man pick the woman that just came at the end? Don't you think a man would want to be with a woman that was able to stick with him throughout all of it?
I think if a man sees that there's a woman who has been there, stuck it out when he was at his lowest to being at where he feel is his most successful in life, and he has that one woman who's been his ride or die through everything.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to say, "This is the woman that I want to be with. This is my wife. I don't want the woman who's going to be just coming along and having all these expectations and just want everything to be handed to her."
Okay, and that's for
why
typical men. That's what it is.
It's very hard for those women who want to build with a man instead of being at the finish line with that man, just because
it's honestly not.
It is, because as a man, how do you really know my true intentions? Because there's men.
Oh, okay. So
there's men who
okay,
be like, "Oh no, I can't trust you because I don't know if you trying to get in now because I'm working towards this." So I feel like that's why a lot of men, it's like, okay, what do you really want? Like, what do you really bring to the table?
Even then, I still wouldn't say that. For the men, okay, here's how I would explain it. For the men choosing, it's harder for a man to choose in the beginning than it is for when he's already won. It's harder for a woman to get a man when a man's already won than when he's in the beginning. Because yes, the way, right, if a man is doing his shit properly and he's meeting a woman, he hasn't gotten there yet. Yes, he, in his mind, it's a lot of questions on why are you here? Are you just here for me to take what I have when I get there? Are you just a lot of things? But for that woman, it is much easier to prove to that man that you're here for the right reasons when he's at the beginning than when he's at the end. Because if I already have it all now, what the fuck is stopping you? Now at that point, my anxiety is through the fucking roof. I already got everything. So now that you're at the finish line,
there's those one or two women who creep in and they like, "Oh yeah, I see you have these nice things," and I see like, and it can be that man who be like, "Yeah, like he trusts that woman enough to be like, yeah, I got a couple businesses, I'm trying to do this, that, and the third, and blase, and they like, to them, to a woman, that's like, ooh, yeah, like he has a couple businesses and everything is going so well, and he's driving a Mercedes Benz, but maybe one day he can drive a Lambo, and yeah, I think I want to stick around for that. And then when it go left, or when she sees somebody who's already driving or already further ahead, then she's leaving that person or that man who was like, damn, like like you sold me like you was here and you really wasn't. So when you have those women who come in, and this can be with anything, just dating in general. When you have those women who come into your life and you've been fucked over so many times, even on a woman's standpoint, and it can, when men come into this, like when you have a partner who comes into your life and they fuck you over so many times, you hold on to that emotional baggage, because in the back of your mind, it's going to be all women are the same. Whether you're doing it consciously or subconsciously, all women are going to be the same. All men are going to be the same. All men cheat. All women cheat. All women use. All men use, and so forth. On. It's always going to always be in the back of your mind, and that's why I was saying that it's hard on women, but it's also hard on men, because there are actual men who ain't looking just to add you onto the body count. There's men who actually see potential in you to be a wife and that wants to grow with you.
I'll say this, and I hear you what you're saying. I understand. I'll say this: when a man gets to the finish line, the first thing that he's going to do is look around and see who has been there through the whole entire ride.
But does that mean that he's not going to look around and say, okay, yeah, well, Keisha been around since day one, but Brittany do got a fat ass, and Brittany do look banging, but Keisha, she
That's another. That's a
she
question. That's now you're talking about a question of the integrity of that man. But for typically, averagely, when a man gets to the end and he's gotten to the point where he's finally got everything that he's been dreaming and wanting, the first thing he's going to do is thank his parents, thank God, and thank everyone who has been there the entire ride. Now, when it comes to women, when it comes to women, he's going to look at that who has been there and shown him the that she is the most genuine. And I'm speaking again. There are categories of men who do not give a fuck, but the categories of those men with no integrity or no self-control are low compared to the men that have some form of mindset, some form, not all the way, some form. But once he gets to the end, he's going to classify and put all the women that are trying to get his attention in a category. She just got here. They've been here. Whether it's been here since, been here since I was in that 2000 Nissan Altima, or been there since that 2002 Nissan Maxima, whatever it was. When I was riding around in that bust down fucking Volkswagen, whatever it was, to all the way to the point where I got all my business in order and I'm making multi-million dollars. These are the women that just got here. Bust down Altima just got here. Bust down Volkswagen just got here. Now, once he puts them in those categories, now he's going to find who is genuine, who's actually genuine. The first way he's going is right here. And I promise you that's going to be how at least 80% of men are going to act at that finish line. For a woman who wants to be with that man, it is better for you to hop in the beginning. Find that man with qualities that you like, height, color, whatever. Whether he's broke or not. If you can tell that he has potential, he has grind, he has a place, he has that mindset, get with him as soon as possible. Because the sooner you get with him, the better you'll probably be at the end. Because I think I can look it up too. 80%, especially for a black man, I think 80% of men who make $100,000 or more, because they always like to say men love to switch it up and get a white bitch when he get rich. 80%.
I wouldn't say all that.
That's what they say. 80 and it was on TV. Everybody hates Chris. You gonna leave me for a white woman? You gonna leave 80% of
I would
men.
just say that you would forget who been there, because and I tell people this all the time, like, my biggest fear in a relationship is that there's always going to be a woman who is going to be more attractive than I am, and that's going to be more pleasing to him. And he's just gonna, because she looks more better and pleasing to the eye, that he's gonna forget that I've been here, I've supported, I've stuck it out, I've ride or died, I've shown these wifey material, characters and characteristics and stuff like that. So it's like, I don't know, I feel like for some women that's always gonna be a fear.
I mean, that might be a fear, but statistics show that's not.
When
That's
they
not
get
the
to
case.
the finish line, that's always gonna
80%.
be the fear. Because I mean, of course, when you have a man who is becoming very successful, that's growing and the money coming in and everything is good. Yeah, yes, women are definitely gonna come in, but there's always gonna be some women who is like, you know what? No, I know for a fact that he ain't going nowhere. Like, he's mine. But then it's for other women, it's always gonna be like, okay, yeah, I'm with him now, but is he still gonna keep that same energy when he at the end, or is he gonna get distracted?
That all depends. It's a lot of variables, but typically the first option that he's going to do is look to see if the woman that's been with him since the beginning is worth staying with him at the end. Now, if somewhere in that it was a bunch of bullshit that y'all was going through, okay, that's a different story. But typically at the end, he's going to see if that woman is worth staying at the end. He's not the first thing he's not going to do is just go looking for new women. Typically, and statistics show that, especially for black men. 80% of black men, because again, like I said, they always say black men like to leave and go with the white. Around 70 to 80% of black men, once they make $100,000 or more, stay with black women. But again, let's continue.
If you're under 17, 18, 19 and you're not making money.
But that's so toxic.
But that's because we live in a capitalist society.
Oh, that's that video we watched.
Yeah. £200. Men are put under more pressure to get money to give women.
I've heard you. Out of the two genders, who is more vulnerable?
Depends what you're talking about.
No,
it depends
She heard him, but she
Men,
ain't with
we die
him.
more. Men, we die more.
That's the difference.
Who is more vulnerable?
Men, we commit suicide more.
Who gives more?
They're not ready for
Men.
this conversation.
Men.
I don't give a fuck. Women give
And
more
that's
in
the problem,
relationships.
like-
Women give
and-
more in
and you know what?
relationships.
Who do you believe gives more and is more vulnerable in relationships?
It can be, honestly, I feel like it just depends on the person. Because it can be some men who do give more emotionally, and there can be some men who do put in that a lot of effort, but then there can be like them type of women who are very guarded, and it can be on the flip side, like those men who are very guarded, and it takes a lot of time for them to slowly let down that wall before they're completely vulnerable. And I guess I'm just more so thinking of it as an emotional standpoint, but before they can just completely become vulnerable and trust 100%. Honestly, I don't think anybody trusts anybody 100%.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
No, they do.
I answered your question.
Well, it is easier for a woman to get taken advantage of than a man in a relationship. Women love harder. They tend, on average, I'm not saying every single relationship.
Women love harder. How would you even fucking gauge that? How do you even do?
And that's what I'm saying. It can go both ways. There are some men who do wear their heart on their sleeve, and a lot of them get mistaken as simps. But then you have those.
That's not what simp means. I don't understand. The people keep on messing up this fucking term of simp. That's not what the fuck simp. Okay, we're gonna look at this definition. I want to see.
But and I think some people do, um, say that those men who do wear their hearts on their sleeves and do be like, oh yeah, I'm out and I'm thinking about you, so I'm going to buy you these gifts, and like they spoil their partner. Yeah, they'd be like, oh yeah, that's a simp. He's
Okay.
a simp
Simp.
because he is appreciating his woman.
That's not what I mean. If people are using it in that term for a man who's appreciating his woman or loves his woman in a certain form,
Yeah, like he
then
buying
that's
her
wrong.
gifts, and
But that's
he
that's
buying
wrong.
her flowers, and he rubbing on her feet, and he's cooking for her, and he's taking on those, I guess, the things that
It
would be
depends on
acceptable.
the woman. It depends on what type of woman he's doing that for. Okay, so simp, a silly or foolish person. But we're gonna go over here. Simp is an internet slang term describing someone who shows excessive sympathy or attention towards another person.
We're gonna take
Typically, someone
Wikipedia.
who does not reciprocate. I mean, this is correct. This is the actual definition. Reciprocates the same feelings.
Okay, so the Urban Dictionary defines a simp as someone who does way too much for a person they like. That's why I'm saying there are some some men who do appreciate their partner, and they are then being told like, oh yeah, well you're a simp because like in their eyes, to one man that's way too much. Like that you doing too much. But to another man, that's like,
this is the actual definition of a simp right here. A word that everyone without the correct definition. It means a guy that is overly desperate for a woman, especially if she is a bad person or has expressed her disinterest in him whom which he continues to obsess over.
But I think
so if a nigga,
not a lot of people, stroll down this far to actually find that.
But that's yeah, but that's the actual definition. The same way that it's on fucking Google over here in this corner. A nigga who is so a nigga.
But they not reading that.
A nigga
I'm gonna
who
tell you
is
right now,
doing
this is
extra
right here.
this
When you
shit
clicked on Urban Dictionary, the first definition it said
is a man who is overly submissive to a female and gains nothing
click
from
on
it.
Simp Urban Dictionary. The
It's
first thing
literally right here.
No, click on it. The first thing that
Someone
came
who
up
does
was
way too
someone
much
who
for a
does
person
way
they
too much
like.
for a person they like. So, like I said, to some people, a man doing certain things to his woman, for his woman, or the girl who he's interested in or whatever, is way too much. But to another person, that is just the way how he shows love. And that's also why people should know their love languages.
I don't know, but people are using
But once again, it's a quarter.
People are using
There's heads and tails to it, so my back still hurt.
The massage you gave me, was that for love?
Yeah, was that? I ain't really feel enough love in that.
Yeah, no.
I just felt a lot of pressure. It got that crick out my back, but I didn't get the love in that thing I needed. Like, what the fuck?
When you paid for dinner, I feel like you didn't do it with enough joy. I didn't feel the love.
Also, who's reporting this?
Yeah.
Who's a scorekeeper? Like on a basketball game, there's a statistician. Is it like a nigga off to the side, like, ooh, that thank you didn't come with enough love. I'm gonna give that a half a point of love. Like, what are you saying?
Women. She wants to be a victim so bad. Women love harder, bro.
Go check.
My back hurt.
You might need your back cracked.
Oh no, it's like really sticky. Alright, this is my last video because I'm even tired.
What?
She's again going off of
I've been
her
up
own
since
experiences
7:30
with the
this
women
morning,
that
but
she's
I
been around,
slept.
and she's already established she picked poorly in
You
the
know what's
beginning of
happening?
her life.
She keeps fucking with people that don't care about her.
Exactly.
And then she's like, why am I not being loved?
Because
But then,
I kept loving them and they didn't love me as much back.
but then the people that might actually love you, you wouldn't give them a chance because they
Exactly.
don't fit your financial
Exactly.
criteria. This is a hilarious fucking what's the word?
I don't think it's a conversation. She's waiting to just respond to him. She's not actually not.
Okay, I heard what you said, Lo. Okay.
Now, who's more vulnerable? Huh? Who's more vulnerable?
He's right. Men die more from suicide. Men die more from just life. Men have
life
a
in general,
lower life
shorter-
expectancy.
yeah.
Yep. And
Gave
she's
her
like,
two
no!
Men die from
no.
How about
depression.
emotionally?
A lot of depression.
How about love? How
Men
much love
die
have you
from
given recently?
depression.
I
Like,
think,
he literally said, "What do you mean?" Like,
You know, depression and anxiety are best friends. But I think a lot of men walk around and they have a lot of depression. And I think that depression kind of
I would agree with
steers
that.
a lot. And just because in society, men aren't allowed, or it is not acceptable for a man to express himself on an emotional standpoint, that I feel like men just feel like they have to bottle everything out. Like from a young age, they'd be like, oh yeah, like you're a boy, why are you crying? Suck it up. But if it's a little girl crying, it's like, oh sweetie, why are you crying? Like, it's okay, you can cry.
I agree with that.
So,
be specific. No, just in general.
Which is wild.
Be
Bro, how
specific.
the fuck?
And then he was like, "Man, no. Emotionally, now I'm gonna get specific. Emotionally." Then he said, "Niggas are dying because of self-delusion." I love him more. I just love you more. Like,
Yeah,
nigga, he just
don't-
asked you that. Now all of a sudden you getting specific.
Hey, you don't get to make it about love. You went on
This
a whole
thing
rampage
is about love.
Yes.
Something that's like fucking immeasurable.
Women get women get the heartbroken more. So the reason, it's not okay. It is not
This
okay.
man with the
It is
buzz.
not okay. It is not okay. It is not okay. It is not okay. It's not okay.
Bro.
It is not okay. It is not okay to teach a young girl. It is not okay.
How many experiences have you had?
It is
You've
not
been dating since you
okay.
were 16. What the fuck is going on?
It is
Let's go
not
make.
Nah, he's going stupid. Hey, someone had to say it. Someone had to say it.
Yes, so I gotta cut his mic. So I gotta cut his mic. That nigga, like he got his heart broken a few times. That nigga, like that's
Yeah, I
bad excuses.
feel
Like,
like-
bad excuses.
I can't say who, like there's a certain gender who gets their heart broken more. But what I can say is that there are men who have gotten their heart broken and they like, listen, like, bitch, I'm tired of you always crying wolf. Like, when the fuck is it gonna be my turn to sit up here and be like, yeah, I've been heartbroken. Let me get the spotlight. Goddamn, like women, as a woman, it's like, yeah, I got my heart broken and now I need to tell you my whole entire story and for
But
women,
again, that just plays into men not being able, or to men.
but I also
being
feel like that
shamed for expressing their
doesn't
feelings and
it
stuff.
does not start within a relationship. It starts from a very young age when that person is brought into the world. And that's why I constantly, with our son, I tell them like, okay, it's okay to cry. It's okay. Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh no, there's no reason to cry, because they're crying for a reason. It's okay to express why you're upset, but I need you to communicate why you're upset.
Mm.
'Cause I can't read your mind.
Understandable.
I'm not talking about you. I'm
dating
talking about
any
women in general.
guys.
And now you want to start talking about, no, I want to use your money. I want a guy that is ready-made.
What's wrong with that?
Nigga, you
He's
are
telling
in
you.
a position where
He's telling you. Fucking listen. You know what's funny?
She's not listening.
He's so
She
fucking
hears
right.
them
Bro,
talking,
you've been
but
dating
she's
for
not
how? She's
listening
pushing
to
what?
what they're
30?
saying.
30,
She's-
And you're still fucking up. Like,
She's-
how have you not made
that's her
improvements? For
most
every other, like, just regular people, we make an error and then look
She's
for
one of
something
them
different than the
Birkin
next
girls.
person, and you're
That's
like, I don't like that. I
prime
like this,
example.
bro. That's what regular people do. Dumb people make the same
Yeah.
error repeatedly.
And
Yeah.
it's like you
Where
dating
they
people
they
for
But
got
money.
again-
they got their one standpoint and they're so close minded that they don't care about anything else.
But
This
I
is
mean,
their
I
point.
don't-
They're making it, and they're not looking at it. Like they're looking at the little details, but they're not looking at the whole portrait.
I mean, I don't know. But again, that's just how it is now. Now people are just either you agree with me, and if you don't agree with me, then I'm not talking to you, and I'm just gonna ride with the people that agree with me, and that's it.
Very close minded.
Yeah.
You're gonna get used. That's what's wrong with it.
Dating people for money because they're not giving me enough love.
You gonna sit here and date a man for money and then be like, that nigga didn't love me enough.
Nah.
Of course he didn't.
But he won't finesse you.
My G, you're in a position where fuck finessing. You are the finesse. You are making your
You know
own
what the
Yeah.
money.
problem is?
What are you
There's
talking about
some women
finessing?
who
Why are you so worried?
are raised to hustle a man like that, and for her, that is her job, is to hustle a man to the point where he takes care of her. That's a hustle to some women.
I mean, hey, it is what it is. I mean, I think that's. I think now because of the way things are being pushed on, like promoted to women by women. That's
Yeah, like
that
you have to
hustle
look
has
a
now
certain way,
become
your
every
nails
woman's
gotta look
hustle.
a certain way. You gotta have the best eyelashes. You gotta have your face beat. You gotta have the best lace
that is a
front melted
woman thing.
wig. You gotta have the boobs and the butt and the unnatural
what I was
looking
talking
flat
about.
tummy, and like it's an image that I feel like other women give off to other women, but us natural body looking women who got the bags and all of that, they just looked at like, ew, you look dirty and tired. that's how I look at it, or how I think about it.
I mean, yeah, that's not. I mean, I agree, but I was mostly talking about the
You
idea
agree,
of trying.
like, yeah, I look like tired.
No, I agree with the fact that that's the image that is being pushed onto women by women.
I mean, the user was a laugh. That was my little joke. It was a corny joke,
but I agree that that is the narrative that's being pushed on to women by women. Yes.
okay. So,
How about me and you?
Can I finish? I know
Fucking hell.
a lot.
So
I know
protective,
a
like,
lot
don't
of
worry about
women.
all
I feel like
How
women.
do you think
I
men
will
don't
never
get used every
teach.
day?
I will never teach a young girl to just go for.
Damn, all these fucking commercials. These niggas trying to get to the damn. bag. God damn it. Most commercials I ever seen on a video.
So dangerous. Oh, just go for love, because when women are in love, they will give that all. They'll
I'll
give
never
that
teach-
kidney.
I'll
Am
never-
I lying?
Lani.
But at the same time, do not now teach a girl to
What you
use
need to
a
speak,
man.
what you need
She
to
needs
teach
to
a
go for a
man.
man who has
No,
money.
what you need,
Because
babe,
she's less likely to get you at least
no.
Bro, fuck, this shit
That's
hurts.
retarded.
Why do
That's
you think she
retarded.
would be less likely to be used by somebody who has money?
If anything, those are the niggas who are gonna use you the most because they have more options.
But what I think she meant to say, Lo, is that at least she will get to
something
use
out
him
of it.
too.
Yeah, you'll get something out of it if you get used.
Yeah.
And the reality is that you just have to pick better. That's everything in life. You just make the right and wrong decisions. And when you make the wrong decision, you learn from it.
Bruh.
You don't make a wrong decision and be like, oh, all of these people are just horrible. That doesn't make any sense.
I get what you're trying to say. I understand the point of view that you're.
I mean,
you're
yeah,
teaching women
yeah.
About what a healthy relationship looks like.
Yeah.
It's not about what money is, because money.
But he
You
needs
can
to have
have
some money.
You can have
Yeah, I
someone
don't
that's rich and
understand.
still
Everybody just growing
abuses
up
you.
broke or
I know
something.
millionaires.
Yeah, I know.
Babe,
I know
what I'm
too.
saying to you. So primary. So you said don't chase love.
They'll probably abuse
Chase
you more.
money.
Bro.
People that
Nah.
have money.
Don't get a
Babe,
fucking
let me
job,
just
you
land.
fucking
land.
Yo, these
People that
niggas-
sometimes.
Let me just land.
Let me land. Yeah, the lens part is
man
it's
versus women BS. Yeah, this is the problem. You said, like, because obviously you're passionate and you know what you've been through and you see women go through a lot and you're pain. And as a woman, I can understand where you're coming from. When you start speaking about, sometimes it's how we articulate and how the words that when you said, we are the most vulnerable, you're already disregarding this man's pain. So what we need to do is talk
Yeah, because
about
Like as if he
no,
hasn't been
no,
heartbroken
no.
either, because I'm pretty sure he has.
Right.
Everything is filtered through what she thinks, and
And
then
it's like, nah, I
discard it if I don't think it already.
No.
If I think it, man, put it in the pile, man. I'll say it in my next
She
conversation.
just, for some reason, she just doesn't think that men
What they're saying
go
is
through
going
things.
in one ear and out the other for her. She hears what they're saying and she has this selective hearing, and that's why she keeps cutting in. She's a woman who likes to be in control of things, because she's not letting them finish what they're saying when she is talking over top of them, because she needs to dominate and to be heard, because it's fuck what you're saying. I need to make my point now because you're not understanding my point. My point matters. So it just feels like she's a dominant woman, I guess you could say.
I think
Or
I
someone who likes
just
to, I
think
wouldn't
she
say
just
dominant woman.
she just
but someone
doesn't
who wants
she
to be
just
a
in her mind, men are always bad, men don't have feelings, men are always going to
and
use
that's
women.
because she's been hurt.
But
Yes.
whatever. So
So I'm
I
trying
think
to say,
women are more
but when you
vulnerable.
do that, it's almost like,
Why does
because
it have to be
you
a
can talk
competition?
about your pain without
He been hurt before.
Because almost like
No,
you're
but
taking
that's
that
what I
away.
believe.
One
That's
too
what I
many
believe.
times.
But that's not necessarily true. We have
what
different forms of
what you
pain,
believe,
different forms.
ma'am, what you believe doesn't mean that it's true. Just because you believe it, and you may believe it with every ounce in every ounce of blood, sweat, and tears and strands of DNA, that doesn't mean that it's true. Yes, I understand you believe it, but if I'm bringing you the facts to show you that what you believe is wrong, shut the fuck up. Here are the facts. There's studies.
I mean,
Scientists do studies. Whatever. There's studies showing that what you're believing is wrong. Majority of men suffer from depression, from anxiety, and self-delete. Majority of men are the ones struggling with homelessness, poverty. They're the ones getting mostly injured at work. They're the ones doing the most dangerous jobs. They're the ones mostly going out to war. Even after women got their rights to do and choose wherever the fuck they wanted to.
well, I mean, I won't be able to, if everything plays out the way how some people want it to play out, they could, ban abortions and Plan B's and birth control.
That has
and then,
nothing to do with what I'm saying right now.
Babies.
Even with the fact that even in the military, they lower the standards for women to be in the fucking armed forces, and it's still majority
what
of men.
Exactly are they lowering?
The standards that they have put in place to say, okay,
What are the standards they put in place?
I don't know the standards, but let's say the standards are you need to be able to do 100 push-ups, you need to be able to run this fast in a mile. Even though the standards and women are fighting for equal rights.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're fighting for equal rights, then you should want to have to hold the same standards that men are being held to. So that means you should be able to do 100 push-ups. You should be able to run a mile in 5 minutes. You should be able to pick up 55 pounds and go up 30 flights of stairs in 20 minutes. Like, if you're fighting for equal rights, you should be able to equally hold up to that standard.
Like Mulan? Because Mulan went to war and she proved that she can do the same thing that
Mulan.
Okay, and you absolutely hate.
I hate the
movie.
cartoon.
You hate that movie.
I hate the cartoon.
Okay.
I like the movie version. I like the real people, but I don't like the
First
cartoon.
of all,
but
you're ass because you don't understand the cartoon.
Yes, like Mulan. If you are fighting for equal rights, you should be able to say that you want to be held to the same standard. Women are in the at least in the armed forces, women are held to a lower standard, and even with that lower standard, majority of the people in the armed forces and going into the armed forces is still men. Even with the certain standards of educational reasons and job, it's still majority of men going into these hardcore jobs and these plumbers and these certain jobs, regardless of the fact of the standard being lower for women. There's still majority of men. So I understand this is what you believe, ma'am, but what you believe is just fucking wrong.
I've
Pain.
wait, I've looked at aunties. I've seen aunties, mothers.
100%, babe. I know.
I'm not saying I've never seen a man hurt. You guys, that is not what I'm saying.
No,
I
I
do
hear you.
believe that women are more vulnerable. I believe women hurt.
Why? Hey, out of curiosity, though, why the fuck would a man who's hurt share that with you, a finesser? Like, why?
What's the point of that?
Like, that'd be like if I was sharing crimes I committed with the federal agent. Like, it's just not the person to share the crime with.
Doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense.
It's fucking stupid.
And furthermore, if you're
And not to say that women are the fucking federal agents in men's eyes. That's not what he. It's just
I just
women.
think that
Women are just
men
not
have
capable
that-
of
that-
handling that type of stuff.
I wouldn't say all women are capable. I just feel like men just know that woman that they can trust enough to let their guard down and be like, hey, this is this weight, and I need help carrying this weight.
He might let you
Yeah,
help, but he's
actually.
not going to tell you everything.
And that's a trust thing.
Thought process. Let's stop this for a second, because this is how dumb you sound. If your thought process is back in the day, women were hurt because they didn't have any options, because they didn't have any rights, right? Like that's your train of thought, right? You all now have options because you all can go out and work, you can earn your own money, you're not solely dependent on a man. So if that's the case, then by your own logic, because women now have more options to date who they want, then it's less likely for that to happen, because they can leave the relationship and be still fine in many capacities. So even by your own your logic, it doesn't filter out to where we are in today's society. So you still using this dumb, idiotic mental space of, I have to date a man with money because they're not going to hurt me. Well, then what's the point of you earning money yourself then? If you're still going to be in that same thought process of, I got to date a man with money because at that point I won't be hurt because at least he's going to take care of me. So what's the point of you earning money at that point? And what's the point of that being a benefit from the man who's going to have to provide everything?
From what I know, a lot of people have arranged marriages. They have a lot of,
Absolutely.
there's a lot of that stuff. So love was never really, even if you look at English time, like Thatcher times, when you got the coal.
I get what you're saying.
When you have like the coal miners, the man them that are going to war and that. It was about just functioning and surviving. We got to a point where people had a bit more money, and then it's like, okay, ooh, love, what do I fancy, and dating and all that. And then it went back. And now, are you crying?
Yeah, give her a moment, babe. Just carry on talking.
I just feel like we've gone back to a time where we're going back to a time now where it's like, it's not just love.
Bro, if she's crying, that's crazy. If she's crying because of a conversation,
cut this shit off, bro.
Right?
I'm so serious.
that's crazy.
Nah.
She's crying.
I tried not to say.
I hope she's not crying. I hope she's not crying.
Come on.
I don't think she's crying.
Conversation.
I don't think
There's
she's crying.
way
I hope
this
she's
nigga's
not crying.
making a sound argument and you start crying and you want us to believe that you are a functioning adult in the dating market. Nigga, you're hurt. Go talk to somebody.
I don't think like it's never been about telling people just go for love. It's always been about a balance and making sense.
You know what it is? A lot of us, that's what I'm saying, like, we go through a lot of pain, yeah? And the only thing is, like,
He doesn't know what to do. He's in complete shock. He doesn't know what the fuck
Love,
to
it's always been about a balance and making sense.
He doesn't know what to
a lot
do.
of us, that's what I'm saying, like, we go through a lot
Look at his face. He's like, what the fuck? This nigga took his glasses off.
And that's why she's literally speaking, you know, from her heart, because she's getting passionate about it, because wherever I don't know, she might have been going through certain experiences in her life, hence why she's more passionate about women going
Because
through
she
this and her
chose
seeing other women being
poorly.
broken and blah, blah, blah. But all I was trying to say is, like,
Nah,
when
nigga,
I
this is
start
a
speaking
crazy
about my
video.
pain-
You know what's
This is a
funny?
crazy
You
video.
know what sucks about this video is that she
Jesus.
went around for 20 minutes. We've been watching this for 20 minutes now. I don't know what's gonna look like.
God.
She went around this entire time telling these guys that no, your pain is nothing like my pain. You discounted the
Their
men's
pain.
pain the entire time.
Entire time.
And then now you're
What?
crying.
Getting old.
Are you done? I mean, the video's almost over. If you ready to, if you want to give your closing statements, then you can go ahead. I can wrap it up. If you want to give, what's your closing statements for this video?
The same thing that I've been saying throughout the entire video is that there's two different types of women, just like there's two different types of men. It just all depends on who you pick. Sometimes you make the right choice, sometimes you make the wrong choice. You make the wrong choice, and that he or she, whatever they, whatever the pronouns is. Yeah, I'm tired, so whatever the pronouns is, if they cause some damage to you emotionally, embrace it, take your lesson, move on. Just move on.
Okay.
If you got some women who date to be at the finish line. You got some women who are groomed to date men at the finish line. You got women who are actually raised, or who aren't raised that way, but who actually have common sense enough to be like, this is weird, and I am now going to take it a different way, and not be like these women. Are you good?
Yeah, I was yawning with my mouth closed.
Okay. You have this. You have those women who look at it and they be like, I do want to build with someone. I want a husband. I don't want a boyfriend. I'm dating because I want to be in the long run. Like, I want to be here from living paycheck to paycheck to waking up and be like, oh, well, I don't feel like going into open the store today, so Shirley can open the store today, basically. So living where we're completely successful, or to the point where what we in our minds see successful as. But I feel like at this point in time of life, in today's society, there are a lot of women who aren't on that side of, I want to be your ride or die, and just be at the end of the finish line. And they take advantage of that, and it kind of destroys the image, because they are the women who are in the spotlight. So since the niggas ain't shit is in the spotlight, to a lot of women, all niggas ain't shit. And we keep that in our mind. Just like how, because there's a lot of women who ain't shit are in the spotlight, who are gold diggers. That's essentially what you are. You're a gold digger, and since you're in the light, a lot of men are going to go into dating and they're going to be like, well, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to run into the gold digger. So.
Okay. Well, that's a closing statement for Tati. I appreciate you for being on the show and joining in today's reaction.
Yes, because it is 1:30 in the morning, and our son is going to wake up, and I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to be on night duty tonight, and I mean, I can try and finish it out, but if I
No, it's
fall
fine.
asleep,
It's fine. Go ahead. It's fine. It's fine. The video is almost over. It's only like 4 minutes left.
well, it's okay. Just put me back in.
No, it's fine.
I don't want to wait for you.
Okay.
I don't want to cuddle.
Men get so emotional that they think about self-deletion. That is
why
different.
it's about to be
again,
done.
I'm not here to sit here and try to play the pain Olympics or the emotion Olympics or
You gotta blink it. No, because I'm not about to plug it back in just for me to unplug it in like 3 minutes. No, I'm okay.
Let's be clear, like, yo, everybody deals with
Okay,
things.
so
That's the other problem with this
you
society,
massage
especially the
my
way that women talk about men. Y'all just think that men just walk around, everything just always dandy. Like, no, it's not. It's not. It's just not. And what's even crazier is that if a man wanted to cry on camera like that, he's already been taught societal wise that it's inappropriate for him to do that.
So how would you even know if a man?
You wouldn't know. You wouldn't fucking know. You would not know.
Definitely wouldn't tell you about it.
Wait, what? No, because obviously, like, I know you didn't mean it. I'm not blaming him. But like when he was talking about like women taking accountability, like I just feel like, don't get me wrong, I agree that people should learn like from their mistakes, right, and experiences and become stronger. But to take, I just feel like sometimes there's no
but after that, like, what? They just should. Why does it? How could you even follow that up with but? Like as if like, yeah, please explain why. Maybe
I mean,
it's not okay that's not done.
She's gonna explain,
I know
bro.
she hasn't been doing that. So
we know, and it's so crazy that anytime we had this conversation about self accountability, and I applaud her for being at least honest, because some women would just sit here and lie and be like, oh no, yeah, I take self accountability all the time. Like no, but she about to sit and explain to us why. Self accountability might not.
I wasn't talking to you.
And the way I was brought up like a Disney princess, right? And there are people who are vultures, and when they clock, for instance, that
she literally just explained the problem right there. She literally just explained that she was brought up as a fucking Disney princess.
As I said, it starts from a very young age.
As a fucking Disney princess.
Things that are acceptable for little girls to do is not acceptable for men to do. Like I said, prime example in our family is a kitchen. Buying a kitchen for our son is a problem on one side versus the other side. Because in some households, a woman is the person.
Just needs it. I don't think it's a problem. I just don't think he needs a kitchen.
I think it's okay to have a kitchen because
it's okay. But I don't think he's
old enough. Yeah, he.
Okay, but that's when he's old enough. We don't necessarily need to buy the nigga a kitchen right now.
If he want to play being a damn chef, then he.
Okay, my point is we can buy him a kitchen when he gets to the kitchen age. Okay, right now, he's not at the kitchen age. He's just gonna take that stuff and bang it around.
You're not listening.
Okay, go ahead.
You can't talk and listen.
Go ahead.
My point is that some things, when you're raised from a very young age, there are some things where it's a female role and then it's a male role. And if a female is doing boyish things, she's considered a tomboy.
Mm-hmm.
But then if there's a male who are doing female things, I'll put cooking or being a stay-at-home dad. To most women, that's a female thing. Staying home with the kids, taking care of the kids at home, that's a female thing.
Yes. But she said that she was raised as a princess, and I think that's the core reason why she acts the way that she acts.
From a very young age, little boys are raised to be a certain way.
Yeah.
I swear, your mom and dad don't. Your mom and dad don't live here. Like my mom and dad don't live in the UK. They live abroad. My dad works abroad, innit? Oh, what you left in a big house by yourself? Oh,
yeah, she was actually
naive. Oh, you'll have a big heart.
I mean,
like I'm not saying it's okay, but people will take advantage, yeah. And like I know
you can't really
I'm
blame
not the
these
girl
parents,
I know like
they don't know no better.
Like I know loads of girls like that.
18 when you was young and you was vulnerable, living in that big house, you wouldn't have had that experience. Is what I'm saying, right? You wouldn't have known what kind of guy.
We only have 30 minutes. You have to understand that it's like we have 30 minutes. Like how sometimes what I'm saying gets misconstrued, but at the end of the day, all I was saying is the men out here who are cheaters and have guap. Use them. You don't fall in love with them.
And as a man, right, hearing you.
I hear that.
What's wrong with that?
I hear what she's saying.
And I'm responding, right? As a man that's hearing you and is sympathetic to how hurt you and what you've been through, I'm also saying don't focus on those men because what you're doing is fucking up the other men
but that's
that
the discussion.
aren't like
I
that.
hear that. No, but we're having a discussion about the table and when girls
Lonnie's saying
end up a nigga.
finesses. I
I'm talking
respect
about
that.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Juggers.
I'm not talking about the man for love.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm saying you're a love girl. Stop worrying about the finesses because
Especially
you're
if
not
you
gonna
can't
find
handle
love
it.
I
worrying
don't
about the
finesse
finesses.
people. I know, but we're having a
But
discussion about
that's what I'm saying.
She
I
doesn't
don't
do the finessing.
I
She
don't
gets
finesse.
finessed.
I don't
Yeah.
finesse men anymore because I used to date. I used to not.
Turn this off! Turn it off!
Hey man, sometimes you gotta live certain lives to learn your lesson, to know. Probably shouldn't be doing this. For her, she used to finesse rich men. Now she doesn't finesse. Bro, your mouth being that wide open is crazy. But she doesn't.
Turn it off! Bro, I can't. I just
Bro.
can't. I can't.
It's crazy, bro.
She's
It's
never,
crazy,
and
bro.
people like this is so sad because y'all will never, ever understand, bro. Y'all just won't get it. And I quite frankly, I'm done explaining it to you, bro. I wish the best for people like her because you're just going in a circle.
Yeah, literally.
You're literally just going in a circle.
It's a very confusing circle.
I dated men with money in my younger years, and then that got me hurt. Which led me to make money. But then even when I make money, I still want to date a man with money. What are you like? What are you saying at that point? That makes no sense.
Well, if you want to hear her make even less sense.
Crazy, yo. That's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else that we might need to react to, you might need to check out.
Well, I mean, we can react to stuff tomorrow, like during the day.
No, I was checking for my personal, like, off of this, like, me to check out.
I was just saying, you ever been like to the point of sleepy, like?
That's why I told you you can get up and you can go to the room, and I'm gonna wrap up and then I'm gonna come. But you're like, nah, I'm not wing anything. Isn't this nigga just an actor? Who the fuck? I don't get it, bro. Demonstrating white men are refuting man. We're gonna watch this. We're gonna watch this tomorrow. What's tomorrow?
Thursday.
Thursday. Okay.
Today is Thursday.
So hopefully, yeah. So hopefully,
my waist trainer comes.
I get off from my night client. So Thursday? Oh yeah. We can stream during the day, which is fine. Okay. Hey man, I appreciate y'all for joining the live.
Sticking around for this long.
You feel me? But yeah, man. Hey man, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you go ahead and destroy that like button. Make sure you go ahead and demolish that subscribe button. Make sure you go ahead and click that notification bell so you can go ahead and be a part of the Big Back Gang. Yes, sir. And then make sure you go ahead and you click that share button. Share it to your mama, your daddy, your brother, your sister, your cousins, your grandpa, and your grandma. Because we out here trying to find us a nice, sexy, big booty, thick, juicy sugar mama. We're going to be out here paying our bills. You feel me? Our bills. He's going to pay our bills. Okay? And man, I'm going to catch y'all in the next video.